Have you checked the children? Your little mess
Hi, I'm Chucky. Wanna play?
Sometimes that is better.
You're gonna need a bigger boat.
Hey everyone, welcome back to the Horror Show. I'm Cecil, Laird.
I'm Susie
Kristopher.
And
Jaime and Fuego here.
That's right, the bitches are back.
Yes! So,
That was risky. But yeah, we're here to review the
They are
second
ladies.
season of The Umbrella Academy. Finally. We watched this pretty quickly afterwards, but we've been so caught up with Shark Week and other stuff going on. And I wanted to make sure that all of us could gather to discuss this, especially Susie and myself, because we watched the entire first season on a plane together to go to a convention last year.
No snakes, thankfully.
Yeah, no. Wow. Okay.
I mean,
Yeah. No snakes on the plane. Fuego.
Yes, I know.
All right. So, so we're here to talk about the second season, which recently dropped, where Fuego and I did review all the volumes of the comic book, and we basically glossed over the second volume like, there's no way they're going to go back and spend as much time in Dallas in 1960 whatever as they did.
Boy, did they ever.
Boy, did they ever. So the entire season took place in 1960s America leading up to the JFK assassination, and it just turns out that when they all jumped into the time stream at the end of season 1, they all dropped out in different years in season 2, so it was a matter of them living their own lives until the others all have to gather and then face off against the apocalypse once again, only this time in the 1960s instead of in the 2019.
But yet, ironically enough, like in the 60s within a few years of each other. So,
Right.
I mean, that's kind of convenient if you're going to be fair
Sure.
about it. But,
Sure.
you know, story. So,
So, yeah, my overall thoughts were, I did like this. I didn't enjoy it as much as the first season, but it didn't drop off like I was worried it would if it spent all season in the 60s. I actually was more engaged with the 60s aspect of it. Generally, I don't like period piece stuff, but I'm so engaged with the characters, and I thought it was interesting, especially having Rumor be black, which she is not in the comics. And so bringing her back into the 1960s and dealing with the race aspect of it all definitely added a dimension that is not in the comic book series. So I definitely enjoyed the season more than I thought I would, but not as much as the first season, and ultimately not as much as another ragtag superhero group, which we're going to be talking about pretty soon as well.
should we not mention them?
Doom Patrol.
Yeah.
So overall, I did enjoy seeing... It's good to have you back,
I
Susie.
love us.
So yeah, no, overall, I did enjoy season 2, just not quite as much as season 1. Susie Von
That
Slaughter.
is pure blasphemy.
Oh,
I
my
loved
goodness.
it. I love every aspect of it. I love all the characters.
More than season 1 or less than season 1?
I'm like pretty even with it.
Okay,
I'm
fair
like
enough.
so
No, that's fair.
invested.
That's fair.
Maintain the consistency then,
Sure.
in your estimate.
Like it's amazing. I'll get into all of it later, but it's amazing. I loved it.
You know, Klaus is getting his own series.
I know. I said that
Sorry.
earlier. I'm so fucking stoked.
Yeah,
Go ahead,
he's-
Marcia, sorry.
He's the best. Him and
Why did
Five.
you do
Isn't it great to
Come
be
on.
back? As soon as Marcia
Right.
talks, someone cuts her off.
How did you do that? You
I'm
set
sorry.
me
It's
up.
my
Never,
fault.
never.
My
Klaus and Five are really the only ones that are worth watching, to be honest.
I agree.
I actually like the dead one too.
Who
Oh,
they
well, yeah,
expanded,
he
who they
did
expanded
get-
upon
Ben.
significantly.
Yeah, Ben.
Yeah.
Ben is good
there
too.
was a little bit more for Ben, but yeah, but overall the story arc and what they do, I think
Yeah.
they're the best. But I actually watched both the seasons back to back
Okay.
because I thought it would be a lot more efficient and I could get a good feel of both of them. Unfortunately, it felt like I watched the same show twice because
That's fair.
the series kind of did exactly the same thing twice with different characters,
Including
they
the
started up-
Endbringer.
Yeah, they
It's
started.
kind of the same.
They started up and
Kinda.
it was like, okay, Five shows up and the world's ending, and then I'm like, oh, okay, and then it's the same show, and there was a lot of good aspects because there was character growth, and we did get some new aspects of everybody. which
Vanya
was
got
fun.
way more to do.
Yeah. So you got,
Ah,
but in the end, we ended up with the same problems and like almost the same villains, right?
You're such a dude.
So it was kind of like just this more of the same. Like I wish they would have actually expanded it a little bit more. Like the beginning, it seemed interesting because of how they brought everybody back together.
Mm-hmm.
But overall, I'm like, I just watched the same show twice.
Been there,
so,
done that. There was a bit of been there, done that. I agree.
So that's
Fuego.
my opinion.
Yeah, and unfortunately, I'm going to echo that in a little bit more critically of a fashion. Upon more hindsight, I didn't really like this season very much. I thought it was pretty weak, man. I thought it was boring. I felt like it was more so just like Umbrella Academy trying to be the Umbrella Academy as opposed to actually just
Evolving the story.
Yeah, exactly. The way that
Like
they did.
coming together.
Yeah. And then the first season, they cemented themselves. It was compelling, and this very much felt like, oh, okay, so they're trying to do something with this character. It felt almost, just like kind of meta in the sense of the recreationist aspect and stuff. I didn't like the class cult. I didn't necessarily like the. Ben, props for what they did with him. I thought that was very cool. Just an interest there. Also, Ellen Page's character,
Vanya.
Vanya. Interesting in that regard, but a very drastic departure.
That felt contractual.
Yes.
That felt like
very
if
much
Ellen
so.
Page was going to be okay being on the show as much as she was going to make sure that her character evolved.
She was a
in
straight
the way that
character
she
in
wanted.
the first season.
Because
And she's a gay woman.
Yeah,
which
Ellen
is
Page
awesome.
herself is gay,
Which is
and
awesome.
so playing
but,
straight in the first season might not have been the most fun thing for her.
Yeah, she has top billing in the current season,
Not me.
which is cool.
Not
I have
me.
something to say about
But I
that.
feel
Ooh.
like they all like devolved from where they ended in the last season, and then they got
They
back.
kind of,
And it's just to end up where they were again.
at the end of the first season, yeah.
Yeah, it was.
I agree with
very,
you, Marcia.
It was
That makes
very
sense.
grazed over in the in the developmental process.
Well
I
said.
thought it was incredibly grazed over. It didn't do it for me. Aside from maybe the rumor, and the fact that she had a very big thing with just the stuff that was going on at the time.
That
and
wasn't in the comics at all.
Yeah, which is very timely and very. God, this damn mask, I hate it. Anyway.
Says everyone
Yes,
in the world.
I
know,
know, but I
Fuego,
keep it
it's
on.
just that your mouth opens so wide, it just pulls it right off your nose.
Well, I have to be prepared for all kinds of things coming my way. Anyway.
Gotta be ready to put anything in my mouth.
Like Kristen
So
Stewart.
really
I thought
quick,
Susie.
Go ahead.
Susie
Susie
Let's
wanted,
had
ask
something to
wanted
say,
get
Think
yes.
about this. What was the little boy's name in the second season?
The little boy's name?
Mhm.
Number 5?
Number 5.
No, Harlan.
Oh, yeah, the
What
kid.
was the name of her boyfriend in the first season?
I don't know.
Harlan.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't realize that.
How about points to Susie?
Oh, okay. Well, that's a connection that I didn't make. Wait, so you're trying to say that the little boy grows up to be that guy?
How
Well,
does
now
he?
he'll be different.
Implication.
Because now, how does he already know about her powers?
Yeah, but
He already knew
that
about
guy
her
would
powers.
That guy would be like 50 years old.
I don't know.
Okay.
Is this
all right.
I don't know, but that was something that I
All
read
right,
about.
No, fair.
Yeah.
Okay, all right.
Nonetheless,
I mean,
story.
it could be it. Like they changed the timeline. So
Yeah, so the story is they were all sucked into the time stream in order to try and escape the moon collapsing on Earth. And in doing so, they all end up anywhere from 1960 to 1963. And they all have to kind of establish lives and re-find each other because they don't know that they've been scattered across time. Suddenly they all just pop up into each other's lives again like, oh, you're here again. And it's like, yeah, because I just popped up like a week ago. And it's like, well, I've been here for a year, that kind of thing. So they do a lot of that, and everyone's got new status quos that they have to deal with. Like you said, the Klaus has become a cult leader.
Yep.
Very, Charlie Manson-ish.
Manson. I mean, like very similar
Very
to
close.
the character from
The
Bad
Waco,
Times at the
Texas
El
guy
Royale,
also,
actually.
yeah.
Don't worry, there's no Kool-Aid in the house.
yeah,
Yeah,
so
I'm not trying to kill you. I want you to still follow me.
so it's interesting and it's different, but it's still very much the same as the first season, except Vanya is given more to do because she has a family that she's staying with and a girlfriend, kind of, and
Which is very random in the fact that, I almost ran you over and we're going to take you in. And then
it was very
felt-
Back to the Future.
Yes.
It's literally what happens in Back to the
Yeah.
Future. So I was like, are you calling yourself Calvin Klein too?
Yeah,
Like,
yeah,
I
I'm
mean,
thinking you got purple underwear.
might as well, yeah. But
And she has no powers. She doesn't know she has powers. Oh,
Again.
this makes.
But at least when she discovers it, it's not in an evil way, so it becomes useful to them. So again, Vanya gets enveloped in the final confrontation of everything, but then ultimately we're introduced to an even greater mystery at the end of the season, leading into the following season.
Fucking
So
Ben. Oh.
It's definitely, it was interesting, but it just wasn't to me as good as season 1.
Same. And I've seen other people praise this even more because of the fact that they're like, it's leaner, it's meaner, the episodes have a shorter runtime, there's more music, and I'm like, well,
Too much music, I
that's
think.
just you
I
emulating.
think it felt too
the,
much music.
I love
But
it.
Same.
you just redid the first season. That's all you did.
Yeah.
Well,
they
the
were,
pop music was even more evident this time. It didn't
Much
feel.
more
It didn't
so.
feel as
Much more so.
woven into
Yeah.
the fabric of the story.
Yeah,
As
and
the first, even the children behave. You know, when they all start doing the dance in the first one, that was actually, it felt natural. You know what I mean? But all the pop stuff in here felt forced.
I
in
felt
the
it
second
more so
season.
than anything with the hairdressing sequence in that one
Yeah.
particular episode where, you know, Klaus and the girls are just like sitting and, I mean, hey, it's cool, but yeah, it just felt more so not serving plot, you know, as opposed to just being like, oh, we know this has been, you know, a popular formula, we're just going to continue
I
emulating
think for me, because I enjoyed it so much, like I'm so invested in this show more than I have ever been with anything. And I was telling Cecil this: I've never had a movie or show get to me emotionally as like this show has, and I'm so invested. So, I guess with the characters and how they grow, I want to see that, and so it's exciting for me. So I think that's why I may like it more. So I'm not like the story may be the same, but like I love.
It doesn't bother you.
Yeah,
More
it's-
of the same is fine in your case. Yeah.
Yeah, well, I'm actually excited to see. Okay, yeah, they figured out. Okay, it's Vanya. Like I'm with how it's going. Obviously, that absolutely cannot. If they do that formula again, I will not watch it.
Yeah.
You know, like, but now it's different. You know, it's going to be different.
Yeah, I was
So-
just hoping that they, you know, because we saw them be split up in the beginning
Mhm.
in the first season, like, and then they finally got together and found some sort of rhythm that they could have
Yeah,
brought
good
that
call.
into
But
the
they-
second.
They
season.
abandoned
Yes,
that,
but
except
no,
we
no.
got that for like one episode. Right,
Yeah.
in that one episode when they're all together being the family and acting like siblings, that's when I think the show's strongest.
And
Yeah,
Yeah,
but
it's
also
still
it
so-
actually answered a lot of questions in the first season too. Like, remember when the portal opened up initially,
Mhm.
Yeah.
and a fire extinguisher just like randomly came out? Well, now you know what happened.
Yeah.
It like it does
It does
explain.
tie stuff together.
Yeah, it does tie stuff together, but
I just wish they would have like stuck with the whole like. I mean,
Yeah.
they don't have to be besties. They can still have that friction, which really works with the characters.
The familial interplay
like,
is what sold the show
But
the
to
first time
completely
around.
like
Really.
cut everybody off and have to like have to go back and forth with everybody and
To
rebuild.
reestablish the connections
yeah,
again.
That's ridiculous.
Yeah,
You're not
it's the
wrong,
same-
Marcia.
I'm sorry, I keep going back.
No, you're
No,
not
no,
wrong.
she's
You're not
totally
wrong at
right.
all. It's
Yeah.
It's the
completely
same
valid
tropes over
criticism.
again,
Yeah.
yeah.
But,
Completely
I
valid
mean,
criticism.
I think if they would have abandoned that part,
I
of
didn't
it, I
see it that way, but I didn't rewatch season 1 right before
Yeah.
season 2
And I
also, so
did,
I didn't
yeah.
have
It
that.
was like right in my face the whole time. I'm
Yeah.
like, really?
See, that's what's different. Again, I hesitate to compare the two shows, but Doom Patrol season 1 and Doom Patrol season 2 literally
Heard
just
it
felt
here.
like an extension of season
Yeah,
1.
it
It
did.
didn't feel like a rehash of season 1.
Yeah, it was,
Umbrella
that was
Academy
really-
season 2 did feel a little rehashy of season 1 of
Yeah.
Umbrella Academy.
But it still had its own.
I'm
like-
sorry, Susie, I'm sorry.
But it still had a lot.
It's because we didn't watch it on a plane
together.
together.
There's a lot
Yeah.
in there that was worth watching, though. Like
Agreed.
there was a lot of the characters you learned, and there was a lot of the back and forth between the two, between the family members that you didn't get in the first one. And so, like, you know, the underneath of the storyline was like boring, and I was disappointed that they redid that. But overall, like, the characters were still fun.
Mhm.
The production was
True.
still well done.
Yeah.
And you still got some really cool things out of it. So.
And it's still better than most shows like this that are out there.
This
Yeah.
show makes me cry. Like, it has made me cry.
Doom Patrol, do more.
Yeah, I was about to say Doom
Twice.
Patrol made me cry too.
Yeah, it made me cry 3 times in season
I don't
1.
do that. I don't have feelings. But that, I think that's why
I
love
resent
like,
things
it
that make
can
me
bring
feel this way.
me to that point that
Yeah.
I can feel that. That
Mhm.
one in particular
Well, it's
with
very-
Ben and Vanya, when he's like, "Hold me," that I
Oh, that
brought. I was
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
no.
Yeah, but it's very music centric, and you're a very music centric person
Yeah, and
too.
I love that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so it makes sense though that would resonate with
Yeah.
you.
Yeah, it's,
Resonate, get it? That's
Yeah.
music. That's a music term.
I mean, segueing into the acting though, man, I must admit.
Oh my
that,
God, are we just on the? I thought we were almost done.
No,
No,
we're
go
still
ahead.
doing story, dude. But yeah, as far as whereas in season 1, I was so much more compelled by like number 5 and Klaus and stuff. I didn't really feel like they shined as much in this season, at least personally. I was much more compelled with Vanya's story, with the stuff with Rumor and her husband, and the fact that she is in this displaced environment and everything, and the civil rights shit.
Cross did feel very samey to me.
Yeah,
Kraken is
just
never given the amount of time that he needs to be established as a character.
True.
Kraken is the assassin
Yeah.
that never really has a discernible personality.
Yeah.
So I think
Yeah.
that's a problem with his character. Everyone else, I really still like the big, the gorilla body dude. I still think he does a
They
good
changed
job.
his body in this one too.
A little bit.
A little
Yeah.
bit.
Little
It
bit.
made
It's
it look
less
a little bit more
gorilla-y.
like realistic.
Yeah.
Less
But
of a suit.
But again, I think
Yeah.
I liked the over embellished version of it in season 1. That's the way it is.
Yeah.
He literally was given the torso of a gorilla in order to save him, and now they're downplaying it. And I'm like, you don't need to downplay
No, they
it,
did
but
that. There's a reason why they did that. So they made him look more humanoid.
I understand,
Yeah.
but the point is he's not humanoid in the
I know.
comics. Like that's what they play up.
Yeah.
So anyway, it's a good season. Effects wise, they still put a lot of effort into that. There's especially a big confrontation towards the end.
Maybe even a little bit more because the show was successful after
Mhm.
the first season, and so they had a little bit more to pump into this second one.
Yeah. So the effects aren't a complaint at all.
So, not. yeah.
It really just boils down to the story and the fact that it is unfortunately very repetitive of season 1. But
I'm holding on.
yeah, I mean that's the thing. If you really truly just loved the characters, you really did just get more of the same in season 2.
Yeah.
Like literally more of the same, which is a
And-
problem for some of us.
Yeah, and without hinting like too much spoiler wise, but at the end of the third comic, what we see at the end of the second season,
They got
is
to the
a
end of
big
they got
hint
to the
what
end
they
of
do.
the comic season,
Yeah.
the volume 3 of the comic, at the end of volume 2 of the show, which is
Exactly.
weird.
Yeah.
They skipped over an entire plot line involving the Hotel Oblivion in order to get to where they got at the. It's weird.
Massive money to like create that sort of scenario that was you and I both acknowledged.
So we'll so
yeah.
technically, season 3 can be entirely uncharted territory. for us.
Multi-dimensional, if we're gonna
Yeah,
just.
we'll
you
see
know,
what happens,
so,
but.
yeah.
Nonetheless, we're going to review another show that is about off-kilter superhero characters next, minus Susie because she hasn't watched it yet, like a dummy. But
I
nonetheless-
refuse.
I know she doesn't want to watch it because she doesn't think she can like anything as much as Umbrella Academy, even though Doom Patrol is better than Umbrella Academy.
I will.
Yeah,
Fight
it's
you.
better, man.
It is.
I hate to
Well,
say
I
it.
mean, you
but
can't
it's
fight
better.
until you watch it because you can't really.
100%.
You can hate it.
Dude, think about it. How much is she gonna like Crazy Jane, and how much is she gonna like Rita Farr, the
Yeah.
old school
Ah.
Hollywood
Yeah.
girl?
Yeah, and also
As much
think-
as she likes old school Hollywood,
Think
you're
of-
gonna love this fucking
Fine.
show so
Fine.
much.
Fine.
that
I'll go home
same-
and watch it. Fine.
And then the actors in it, like, there's crazy actors.
You
Yeah.
stop.
Yeah.
Like, you.
I don't like how you guys are going like. There's crazy
We are
people.
totally
You'll
ganging
love
up on
it.
you.
No,
Yeah.
like-
Susie's just like, okay.
Oh, we kept going. Oh my gosh,
no,
they're
but-
in it. Oh my gosh,
No.
they're in it.
Mhm.
Holy cow, this show's cute.
You're gonna love
As
it.
as R-rated as you are, you will appreciate the fact that it's the same sort of offbeat,
Way more
kind of,
R-rated than
like
Umbrella
just
Academy.
strange sort of approach, but it just goes for it, and it is
Especially in the
adult,
second season.
and it's it's violent.
So we'll
it's
get to all that.
F-bombs
We're gonna
galore.
talk
Yeah.
about
Yeah.
the R-rated Doom Patrol.
Come
Next,
watch
we're
our
gonna
Doom
record a
Patrol.
review of the
Yeah,
first
I
season.
know.
So we'll record a review of the first season, and then if Susie watches the first season, hopefully she'll watch the second season in time to join us for our review
Yeah.
of season 2.
Yeah, because I haven't watched the second season yet.
Yeah. So exactly.
And here we're talking about Doom Patrol.
Nonetheless,
Umbrella
well, that's the
Academy.
point. That's the point. Doom Patrol is just more rewarding, in my opinion.
Agreed.
And so if you like Umbrella Academy Season 1 and 2, definitely seek out Doom Patrol as well. Nonetheless, that's going to do it for our review of the second season of the Umbrella Academy. It is nothing to be sniffed at. It is still one of the better TV series that is coming out. It's just that Doom Patrol just does this similar
And
thing a little
it
bit
opened
better.
the door for.
It did. It did. Well, they
Yeah.
came out roughly about the same time, but yeah.
Oh, well, yeah. For me, it opened the door for me.
Indeed.
So,
So let us know what your thoughts are on the second season of Umbrella Academy in the comments down below. Let us know what your thoughts. If you enjoyed the second season more than the first season or less, let us know why while you're down there. Until next time, though, I've been Cecil Laird.
I'm Susie Von Slaughter.
March Parker.
Gracias for the girls being back. Fuego here.
And remember, stay scared!